You're listening to the Armchair GM Sports Network.
Ted Liebman here, the voice of the OHL's Niagara Ice Dogs, and you're listening to OHL Overtime, an in-depth interview show highlighting the players, coaches, and broadcasters from around the Ontario Hockey League who make the league so great. Exclusively on the Armchair GM Sports Network. Now, here's your program host, Brandon Caputo.
Welcome into another installment of OHL Overtime right here on the Armchair GM Sports Network. Proudly brought to you by Wild Bill's Auto Repair, helping customers stay safe and confident on the road in Niagara since 2012. In honor of the late William Robert Hunter, the proud show sponsor of OHL Overtime, as always, Wild Bill's Auto Repair. Thank you to everybody for tuning in today to another episode here on the network, and I've got an exciting one for everybody, starting up with the OHL season, and what better way to get going than with a team that's highly touted and a team that you can look forward to as far as a lot of NHL prospects already drafted and going into the future, and we're going to talk to some of those players on today's episode. We've got, obviously, if you can see by the thumbnail in the video version, we are talking to those involved with the London Knights. We've got 3 player interviews lined up for you, including Oliver Bonk, Denver Barkey, and Sam Dickinson, 2 of those players drafted by the Philadelphia Flyers, and Sam Dickinson, a highly touted defenseman that is projected to go in at least the top 10 coming NHL draft in 2024. So really looking forward to speaking to those individuals as well. We've got some great analysis from the radio voice of the London Knights, and that would be the legendary Mike Stubbs. Gives us a great analysis of each of those players, as well as what to expect from the Knights this season, and as well a couple players that of note. Michael Simpson, Easton Cowan has some good thoughts on those players as well, and just about the Knights' optimism after going to the OHL Championship last year and losing in 6 games to the Peterborough Petes. A lot of their team is back, and they acquired Michael Simpson, the goaltender that beat them in the OHL Championship from the Peterborough Petes. So this is a team that you can expect to see a lot of come playoff time, and always well coached under Dale Hunter as always. We're going to take you to our first player interview today, and that will be with the first round pick from the Philadelphia Flyers in the 2023 NHL draft, and that would be defenseman Oliver Bonk, the son of former NHLer Radek Bonk. And this first interview on today's show is going to be brought to you by J&L Flooring. If you think you can get a better deal anywhere else, you don't know jack. Contact their Niagara Falls location, begin your next quality flooring project today. J&L Flooring. Here is Oliver Bonk. Please be joined on OHL Overtime by the 22nd overall pick in the 2023 NHL Draft by the Philadelphia Flyers and current London Knight. That'd be Oliver Bonk. Oliver, first off, getting drafted, I'm sure it was a great summer for you. You went to Flyers camp, just recently came back. What's the last couple of months been like for you, and just how motivated are you to come back to the OHL and put on a good season for what's to come in the future?
Yeah, I think it's been a great couple of months getting drafted and signing and stuff like that. But on the other hand, it's great to be back here, getting a taste of what the NHL is like, and coming back and hopefully going for another championship this year.
Dad was a longtime NHLer as well. Just what did he teach you about the process, and was there a little bit of bragging rights, you getting drafted in the first round and Dad being a longtime NHLer? Is there how has he been for you in this whole process?
No, he's been nothing but supportive. He knows that's just the start of the journey, so he's on me to make sure I don't let up at all.
And you got your teammate Denver Barkey, obviously drafted with Philly as well. Just how cool was that to kind of have a teammate there with you, brother of yours from London here to go down there with, and just have some familiarity, and both are going for the same thing, hopefully being Flyers soon.
Yep, it was really fun. It's good having someone you can lean on from your team, so it's really good.
You were named to the CHL All-Star team last year. Just how much of an honor was that for you? An accomplishment like that, just talk about how that made you feel.
Yeah, it's great. All rookie team is always good, but you never really start off the season, and you're not really thinking that at the start of the season. You're just trying to produce for your team and do whatever you can for them. But I think it's a good kind of side goal, not even a goal for me, but a side achievement that
You played in Junior B. Can you just talk about that progression that you had, go from that level to the OHL? As people that might be playing in the lower leagues right now, just how much you tell them get through that process and make sure that one day if you put in the work, you can get to this level and you can become a first-round pick in the NHL?
Yeah, I think it's important to just bide your time like I did. Getting sent down's not always bad. We have guys on our team right now that have been sent down. I say the same thing to them. It was the best thing that ever happened to me. Being cut for the first time kind of humbles you, and then play a lot of minutes down there, so it's really good for your development.
And lastly, guys that had a great run last year, went to the OHL Championship and lost to Peterborough, but just how motivated are you to come back this year and take that next step, and what you learned going through that whole experience and process of your first really deep playoff run to make sure that you come out this year? And you guys are obviously highly ranked, so how do you have the expectation but also put the work on the ice to know what it takes to get back there?
Yeah, we have the highest of expectations of our team. We know what we could be, but hardest part is just going out and doing it, because it's great to be ranked like first in the power rankings and whatever we were, but if we don't act on it, there's really just a kind of a blown chance. So I think we got really high goals this season, and I think we got the team to do it.
London Knights, Oliver Bonk, and Philadelphia Flyers first-round pick. Thanks so much for doing this, and look forward to seeing what you're going to do this year, even though the mullet's gone. But look forward to seeing your next level of progression, and best of luck with the season.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much to Oliver Bonk for taking some time to speak with us about his upcoming season. And again, a player that played in Junior B just less than 2 years ago and ends up becoming a first-round pick in the National Hockey League. Just goes to show that, perseverance and going down to Junior B necessarily isn't a bad thing. As you can see, Oliver Bonk, he is the epitome of that. So it's great to see, and wish him the best of luck, even though he shaved the mullet, but maybe that's for good luck, I'm not sure. But Oliver Bonk, defenseman for the London Knights in the first interview. We're going to take you to our next interview, and that will be with his Philadelphia Flyers and London Knights teammate, Denver Barkey. Again, only a 5'9" forward, plays a very hard-nosed game, and somebody that's not afraid to throw their weight around as an undersized player. Third-round pick of the Philadelphia Flyers in the 2023 draft, and really turned some heads while he was away at Philadelphia Flyers training camp, and you got to work hard if you're going to play under John Tortorella. So look forward to speaking to Denver. This next interview is brought to you by the Niagara Employment Help Center, helping people find work in Niagara since 1983. Check out their up-to-date job board at ehc.on.ca to find your next work opportunity today. The Niagara Employment Help Center. Here is London Knights forward and Philadelphia Flyers draft pick, Denver Barkey. Back on OHL Overtime with Philadelphia Flyers, third-round pick in 2023. That'd be Denver Barkey, London Knights forward. Denver, obviously, a great run that you guys had last year with a great core of young players. Just how exciting of a run was that for you guys, and what do you think you're going to take most from that as you guys want to take that next step to win it this year?
Yeah, obviously that was a super cool experience, kind of going through that whole process of winning each round, and I think just losing in the finals, going all that way, putting in all that work, and coming up short, I think that's going to stick with a lot of guys in the room that were there last year, and I think just motivates us, fuels us to have another strong season and hopefully make another playoff push.
You were just recently in Philadelphia. Obviously, your teammate Oliver Bonk was the first-round pick with Philadelphia. Just how cool was that to go down there with a teammate and be able to have that experience together and somebody to lean on for familiarity, and then you guys come back to London and, just what is that experience like being able to do that alongside him?
Yeah, obviously super cool to be drafted to the same team, and going to camp and stuff like that, having a buddy you can hang out with. I mean, we're on the same flights, just little things like that. We room together. Awesome to have him there, can talk to him about anything. So it was a really cool experience for the both of us, and we're super fortunate to be both a part of the Flyers organization.
And you talk about your progression, like just from 2 years ago, 15 points in 53 games. Then you exploded for 59 points in 61 games, and then you obviously had 24 points in 20 playoff games. So really, what do you feel like the biggest takeaway that you had going from 2 years ago to last year? What was something that you really worked on that made you take that next step and that next level in your hockey career that got you drafted in the NHL?
Yeah, obviously going after my 16-year-old year, I knew the next year was important, obviously it being my NHL draft year, so I wanted to make sure I had a big, important summer, spent a lot of time in the gym, a lot of time on the ice, just a lot of time doing the extra things that are going to help me have a successful season, and I think just throughout the season, tried to play every game like it was my last, just compete and buying into the system that Dale teaches here. I think as the year went on, I continuously got more and more ice time, and I think that was just from showing up every day, putting in the work, and just buying into his systems and what he says. And I think that a lot of credit goes to Dale.
And you got to play in the Gretzky Link Cup. Just how cool was that to put on that Team Canada sweater? Being a Newmarket boy, I'm sure Connor McDavid was my idol years growing up. That makes me feel really old. But how cool was that to be able to put on that Canada jersey? And is McDavid somebody that you look up to, being from Newmarket?
Yeah, obviously you grow up watching the World Juniors and Team Canada, so to be able to throw on that jersey and represent Team Canada as a country was a super surreal moment. Obviously, I was fortunate enough to spend that with Oliver as well. And yeah, obviously kind of growing up in Newmarket, McDavid was the new up-and-coming kid, and obviously went to a few OHL games when I was a kid just to watch him when Erie would go to Oshawa and little things like that. So watching his highlights on YouTube, obviously, he's a pretty special player, but just try to take away as much from his game and implement it into mine.
And lastly, you turned a lot of heads at Philadelphia Flyers camp. The fans are really excited about what the future could be for you on that team. Just for the fans watching or listening, what is something that you're really going to work on in your game to maybe that they told you that they want to see from you this year, or just something that you're going to work on to take that next step, and not just at the junior level, but hopefully at the pro level one day?
Yeah, I'd just say kind of just going to continue to be myself, but the biggest thing is I'm just going to continue to get stronger, get heavier, just get faster. Little things like that. I'm an undersized forward, so making sure you're as fast and strong and as hard on pucks as possible is super important. You kind of don't get as much leeway being a smaller guy, so making sure you win as many battles as you can and being fast and quick and shifty out of the corners is huge. So spend a lot of time working on that and hopefully be a leader here and work on little skills like that as well.
London Knights forward Denver Barkey and Philadelphia Flyers draft pick. Thanks so much for doing this, and look forward to seeing what you guys are going to do with London. It was a great year last year watching that young group, and look forward to the next step you're going to take this year.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Wild Bill's Auto Repair is your local center for auto maintenance and repair in the Niagara region. Since 2012, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop has been helping customers stay safe and confident on the road, knowing their vehicles in top running condition through their services. Located at 7868 Oakwood Drive in Niagara Falls, the garage started as a tribute to the owner's father, William Robert Hunter, who passed away, continuing the same community spirit and high level of service which customers came to expect from him back at Hunter's Auto Repair. Their multi-award-winning auto shop has earned the trust of the Niagara community with its fair treatment of all customers, who can feel confident they'll get the trustworthy advice and repairs during their visit. Their experienced crew loves meeting new people and looks forward to forming a lasting partnership for the care of your cars. To find out more or to book service, contact them today, 905-358-7868 or wildbillsauto.ca. Wild Bill's Auto Repair, helping customers stay safe and confident on the road since 2012. Since 1999, Niagara Dental Clinic has been helping thousands of patients achieve natural-looking smiles with the confidence to show them off. Sean Battelle and his wife Anne, both licensed denturists, bring a wealth of skill and experience to the warm and friendly atmosphere to their Niagara Falls location at 5501 Drummond Road. And their on-site Niagara Hearing Clinic offers free hearing tests and a variety of services to fit your needs. This family-run practice takes pride in providing superior care and service to their patients, along with the best premium products available on the market. Get the best work done at a more reasonable price. Niagara Dental Clinic is here to help. Protect your teeth with a mouth guard, replace missing teeth, and get better hold with your dental implants. Call them today for a free consultation at 905-353-1552 or check them out online at niagaradentalclinic.com. Niagara Dental Clinic, creating natural smiles in the Niagara region for 25 years. In the Niagara region, Global Pet Foods is your destination for premium pet nutrition and caring expertise. Whether you've welcomed a new furry family member or need advice on top quality nutrition, their dedicated staff is ready to help. Discover why Global Pet Foods' lesser-known premium brands outshine the big corporate names. Their team's passion ensures your pet's health and vitality. Check out one of their locations today, 3643 Portage Road in Niagara Falls, 160 Highway 20 in Font Hill, or 400 Scott Street and 344 Glendale Avenue in St. Catharines. Global Pet Foods, where premium brands and caring staff make the difference.
You're listening to the Armchair GM Sports Network, the Niagara region's best local source for North American sports podcasting coverage. By sports fans, for sports fans.
Welcome back to segment 2 of today's OHL Overtime episode right here on the Armchair GM Sports Network, as always brought to you by Wild Bill's Auto Repair. Guys, if you're enjoying the video version of the podcast, hit like, hit subscribe, and smash that bell for all updates on videos that get released here on our YouTube channel, and give us some love for the video content. If you're listening to us in audio on all of our different audio platforms, thank you very much for that. Make sure you're following the podcast on Twitter, or X now, at Armchair GM Pod, and we're available on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, wherever you consume your content on social media. We are available for you guys as well. We spoke to the 2 Philadelphia Flyers prospects from the London Knights in Denver, Barkey and Oliver Bonk. We're going to take you now to a player that has not yet been drafted, but definitely will in next year's NHL draft. That would be highly touted defenseman Sam Dickinson. Right now he's projected as around a top 10 pick in the National Hockey League, but again, could jump up even higher if London ends up going on a deep playoff run, maybe to the OHL Championship or Memorial Cup, and he, continues to build up as a strong defenseman in the OHL, and we know defensemen are always highly touted come draft time as well. A lethal shot that we saw this last weekend against the Niagara Ice Dogs. So some really good thoughts from Sam Dickinson going into his draft year, and look forward to bringing you guys that conversation now. So this interview with Sam Dickinson today is brought to you by the Niagara Golf Lounge, Niagara's home for golf and sport all year round, which features 2 state-of-the-art indoor golf simulators, allowing you to play some of the world's best courses. Located at the Best Western Carencroft Hotel in Niagara Falls, visit NiagaraGolfVacations.com to learn more and to book your golf bay today. Here is London Knights defenseman Sam Dickinson. Pleased to be back on OHL Overtime with London Knights defenseman Sam Dickinson. Sam, I know it's an exciting time for you going into your draft year. How do you kind of put those expectations to the side and just put your work on and off the ice that you're going to need for this team this year?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of put that stuff in the back of your mind, and you put the team first always. I'm worried about wins and this team getting as many wins as possible. So it's one of those things that you just kind of put in the back of your mind. You think about it every once in a while, but for the most part, you're worried about the team and how many wins we're getting.
How much of an experience was it being at the Gretzky-Holinka Cup, obviously coming away with the gold? Just how putting on a Team Canada jersey, what was that experience like for you, and what did you hopefully take from that you're going to take with you into this year?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you get to play for Team Canada and put that jersey on is an incredible experience, and for a tournament like that, especially like the Holinka Gretzky, such an unbelievable tournament, and to also be able to be lucky enough to be an assistant captain was unbelievable. And I mean, the experiences that I take from that are going to stay with me for the rest of my life, and guys on the team will be friends for life, and even capping it off with a gold medal was unbelievable, and then getting to come back here is it's unbelievable.
Speaking of the experience, you had 8 points in 21 games in the playoffs as a rookie. Just what was it about that great young group that you had? Obviously, a lot of guys drafted in the NHL, but you all come up together in the same kind of age range. Just how exciting was that for your whole group, the whole young group, to really experience that whole run that you guys had going all the way to the OHL Championship and wanting to put in that extra level to win it this year?
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. I mean, having a lot of young guys is, it's tough. You don't see a lot of teams with a younger core going that far, but the younger guys that we have are some of the best in the league, and when you put us together, we're unstoppable, like you saw last year. Coming up two wins away from winning it all, and I mean, the momentum that leads into for this year is exponential. I mean, we all know what it's like now to go that far and to play playoff hockey, so it's gonna help us a lot this year. And
you talk about the season you had last year, 23 points as a rookie. What can people expect from you? What's for people that really haven't seen you play yet and want to look forward to next year's draft? What's the type of player that you are? What type of player do you want to be, and what's the style that you like to play?
Yeah, I mean, I think the modern defenseman is kind of how I am. I'm a mobile two-way defenseman who gets up and down the ice really quick. For my size, I can skate really well, and not only in the offensive zone but the defensive zone. I think that I'm a really good player, and it's those things have helped me to make the plays like I did last year, and coming into this year it's really exciting. I feel like I've worked a lot this off season and gotten a lot better, and the team we have, I think everybody around me is going to help the coaches and the players, so this season's going to be really exciting, and I know that I'm really ready for it.
And lastly, what does the coaching staff expect from you? A great program here in London, great coaching staff under Dale Hunter. What are they really expecting from you this year to elevate your game to the next level, and what you guys are going to accomplish as a team, but specifically what are they really looking for you, and what are you trying to build on in your game this year coming off a great rookie campaign?
Yeah, I mean, we've got the best coaches in the league, and whatever expectations they have for me, I'm ready to do that, and any role that they have for me, I'm willing to take that on. But I think personally for me is I'm trying to work on my offensive game, become a little more dynamic, and and obviously put up a couple more points. But I mean, that can't take away from the defensive end and the defensive zone. I have to stay strong back there, but obviously anytime I can, I want to be able to get up in the rush and help us offensively.
London Knights defenseman Sam Dickinson, thanks so much for doing this. Look forward to seeing what the London Knights are going to do, and you specifically, and best of luck going into your draft year.
Awesome. Thanks a lot.
Thank you to Sam Dickinson for taking some time and discussing his thoughts going into his NHL draft year, and wish him well with the London Knights this season. We're going to finish off today with a very special interview, not a player with the London Knights, but somebody that has covered them for a long period of time, very well known with the London Knights, and that would be the longtime radio voice, the legendary Mike Stubbs. Really look forward to bringing you guys that conversation. In-depth thoughts from Mike, and somebody that has covered this team for a very long time and gives us some great thoughts on each of the players that you heard from today, and Sam Dickinson, Denver Barkey, and Oliver Bonk, as well as some other players, and just a general discussion about the London Knights. So it's a great chat, and you're going to want to get some popcorn and sit down and listen to Mike Stubbs talk. You could listen to him all day long. Again, just about a 10-minute conversation with Mike Stubbs previewing the London Knights for this 2023-2024 edition of the rosters. This last interview today will be brought to you by the Niagara Denture Clinic, creating natural smiles in Niagara for 25 years. If you forgot to bring your mouth guard on the ice or lost a chiclet, contact their licensed team of denture professionals in Niagara Falls today to get your smile back on track. Here is the London Knights radio voice. That would be Mike Stubbs. Please be back on OHL Overtime with the radio voice of the London Knights. That would be Mike Stubbs, CFPL. Mike, thanks so much for taking some time. Last time we spoke to you was in the OHL Championship last year. Now, right off the bat, get to see you guys play Niagara, but the optimism of last season was such a great young roster. A lot of it's back this year. There's a lot of high hopes for the London Knights this year. They're on the CHL top 10 list going into the season. So what's the optimism as somebody that around the team and covering it as in-depthly as you are about them thinking that they can get back there and take that next step to win it this year?
Well, I think fans are going to look, and they're going to say exactly what you did. You've got a lot of players returning, and there's always this look that you will see in returning players who had a long playoff run and maybe didn't win, and that look will say it's business. But then you're around the team and you realize there's still the way that they do things, which is not, hey, is tomorrow April? Is tomorrow May? Does the OHL Championship Series start next week? Do we have to be ready for that? This is a team that is one day at a time, one game at a time. They were focused on the Niagara Ice Dogs in Game 1. They're focused on the Niagara Ice Dogs in Game 2. And they're focused on the Sioux Greyhounds in Game 3. And it's going to go like that. So this is a club that has the experience of ownership, management, and coaching that know how long a season is, the lucky breaks that you need, no matter who you have on your roster, no matter how many things you've done in the past. You need some luck. You need some things to go your way. And there's no given. And 19 other teams are right there to tell you, yeah, don't expect anything. So the organization's not expecting anything, and we'll see what they can build as they go along.
With the way that Dale Hunter coaches and the system within his coaching style, making sure that these guys stay in the moment and make sure that they're putting in the work on and off the ice, and if they're not going to play. It doesn't matter where you're picked. So what's for those young players coming in and the guys like Sam Dickinson, the Denver Barkeys of the world, the Easton Cowans, and even the Oliver Bonk, who played a year of Junior B when we talked to him. What is it about those players being able to develop so well within the London Knights organization and being one of those benchmark teams that everybody looks at?
Well, it is just that. I mean, there are those two Ds. There's drafting and there's developing, and it's very difficult to add another D to do both. And the Knights have been able to do both for a long time, where you're able to draft players and then you're able to develop them and bring them along. And you mentioned Junior B and the use of in Southwestern Ontario, the Greater Ontario Junior Hockey League, because Easton Cowan played for the Kamoka Kings. Look up a goal. You'll find it on Facebook, but it's Easton Cowan chasing down a puck when he's with the Kamoka Kings as a 16-year-old, cutting in front of the net and doing a behind-the-back shot, and he scores. So you had players who were playing at 16 in a league where you have players who are 18, 19, 20 years old, sometimes even a little bit older. And yet you're able to maybe take those steps a little bit more slowly. And the Knights have been doing this for a long, long time. Seth Griffith was the Greater Ontario Junior Hockey League Western Conference Rookie of the Year. Billy Moskal, who played for the Knights, that same award. Last year, Will Nickel, who is now full-time with the Knights, same thing. Sam O'Reilly was on the all-rookie team. So this is something they've been doing because it gives players a chance to play, It gives them a chance to play where you're not jumping up against the high-level competition of the Ontario Hockey League, but you're still at a really high level. And so it's helped. It really has. And it's part of the development process. And it's worked very well. You talk about Easton Cowan and Oliver Bonk. They went from the GOJHL to being first-round picks in their draft year in the National Hockey League.
Mike Stubbs, the voice of the London Knights, is with us. Mike, I want to ask you about a few individual players. You touched on Barkey and Bonk there. They turned a lot of heads away at Philadelphia Flyers camp, and obviously with a coach like John Tortorella, he's going to expect a lot out of players like that. So what is it about the guys like Bonk and Barkey going down there to Philadelphia, having that experience together, and then coming back to London and having a chance to win with this team this year in junior?
Well, it just shows them what that level is like more than anything. And you always like when they get into a preseason game because they've gone through and they know what a day of junior hockey feels like. They know what the grind feels like in the playoffs. The NHL is a little bit different, What do you wear? Where do you go? When do you eat? Who's sleeping? What does practice look like? Game day skates are all the time. All of those things. So, yeah, you'll learn that rhythm and you get a chance to hang out with the players and realize, hey, these guys I've been watching for years, but I'm putting on my skates at this stall. He's putting on his skates at that stall, and we're going to both go out and play on the same ice. And so it works out really well for those players. And Denver Barkey and Oliver Bonk got into a preseason game for the Philadelphia Flyers. Easton Cowan's played some games with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Isaiah George got into a preseason game with the New York Islanders. And it's just that slow process where it's really hard to tell that teenage mind, and we've all had one. We've had that mind that at 16 years old says, I don't see why I can't get served at the beer store. And then you get to be 19 years old and you think back and you think, how could I have been, how could I have thought that? There's no chance, All that sort of thing is there. And so the young mind always wants everything all at once. And to be able to go along these steps slowly, and that's something that you learn in London, the process. And a lot of teams will use it, but it's something that does mean a lot.
Speaking of the process, you acquire a guy like Sam Dickinson from Niagara last year. His rookie season was outstanding. Going into his draft year, there was a lot of expectation on him about possibly being a top 10 pick in the NHL draft. From being around Sam, what's his kind of demeanor and how does he kind of go about his business as a highly skilled defenseman that has a lot of promise and that has a lot of expectation put on him all over the hockey world right now?
You use the word business, and he's somebody that you see him on the ice. You see him after practice is done, the little things that he's doing, whether it's picking up a puck off the boards and pivoting into the middle of the ice. And you'll see him do that again and again and again until he feels he has that right. Just that work ethic that he has and fine-tuning little things, whether it's on the ice, even off the ice. He's somebody who absolutely loves the game. He is, he's a great guy. He's always smiling. He's a great guy to be around. And then you watch him on the ice. And at 16, he looked 25. At 17, well, he still looks 25 and makes smart decisions, makes the right decision. And that's really hard to do. But he's somebody who has made that right decision through his life in terms of what he does on the ice. And so that's a rarity. That's hard to find. And he just does it naturally. So the sky's the limit for Sam Dickinson. It really is.
And an exciting time for London with all those players, but just recently picking up overage goaltender Michael Simpson from Peterborough Petes. Obviously went on the championship run, beat the London Knights in the OHL Championship. A London boy, played for the London Junior Knights. What has that been like, just having Michael Simpson back within the fold in London? I'm sure it's a big moment for him. Last night, the home opener at the time of recording this, but having a goaltender like that that's motivated and that has championship pedigree with ties to the area, just how exciting is it for the London community to have Michael Simpson put on that Knights jersey and start in goal for them right now?
Always great to see somebody able to come and finish off a career in their hometown. Connor Federico is able to do that in St. Catharines with Niagara, and George Diaco did it last year coming home to London. So he gets an opportunity to do that, and he brings something. And the Knights, if you look at their goaltending situation, it was very good coming into training camp and the preseason. The one thing maybe it lacked for, what could happen with this team and what fans are hoping happens with this team is that they go on a long playoff run. The one thing they didn't really have was that experience in goal. And Michael Simpson has all of the experience in goal. He's got that playoff MVP resume. He's been in the Memorial Cup, and so not much phases him. And when Niagara came out in the first period of the season and fired 20 shots at him, he wasn't phased. Niagara came hard, and he made 19 saves, held his team in the game, and they ultimately came back and won it. So that's the kind of thing that you want when it's a back-to-back night or 3 games in 2.5 days and you need a period from your goalie. You're going to get it from him because he's been there and not much phases.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you one final question about Easton Cowan. He's up with the Toronto Maple Leafs right now. What is it about him? Went in the first round for the Leafs. Obviously, they didn't have a pick for a couple more rounds, so they really wanted Easton to be their guy. So what has been his progression? What makes him so exciting and such a valuable player, not only for the Knights, but maybe as he transitions pro hockey one day and up playing quality preseason games with the Leafs?
Well, if you're going to list all the checklist items, character, work ethic, skill, he's got all of that. And so that character and work ethic are going to have you just wanting to keep him around. He's going to outwork people. He's going to give everything on every shift. And then he's done it since he was small. When he gets near the net and he gets a chance to score, he finds a way to put the puck in, and he did it on a power play in his first preseason game in the National Hockey League. And that's just something he's been able to do, whether it was his first scrimmage in training camp with the Knights. He got a chance in close, it's in the net. And so that's something that's valuable in the NHL because you don't get a lot of good chances. You don't get a lot of good looks in the NHL. And so that's something that, he certainly has in his back pocket. What role does he play in the NHL? That's up to the Toronto Maple Leafs to figure out. But at the moment, you look at what he's been able to do, it's been a pretty impressive meteoric rise from playing with the Camoka Kings just a little over a year ago to having the year he did last year, having the playoffs that he did last year. He was somebody that NHL scouts at the beginning of the year would say, I kind of like that guy. I think we might be able to, get him maybe in the 3rd or 4th round. And then you'd hear, yeah, I really like that guy, but we'll probably have to use a higher pick on him than 3rd or 4th round. And what do you know? He goes in round number 1 to the Leafs.
The voice of the London Knights on CFPL, Mike Stubbs. Thanks so much for taking some time. And see you at the beginning of the year. Maybe we'll see you again at the end of the year sometime in the OHL playoffs. Maybe the OHL Championship. Won't get too ahead of ourselves yet, but there's a lot of expectation on the London Knights and look forward to what they're going to do and appreciate all the great work that you do for the Knights as well.
It's happened twice. Thanks so much for this.
Big thanks to Mike Stubbs for providing that great analysis. Couldn't have done it better myself. Mike covers all the London Knights games, home and away, on the radio side of things, and he's been doing it for a very long time and one of the best in the business when it comes to the radio broadcast. So Mike Stubbs taking some time for us there and should give you guys a good preview of what to expect from this highly touted London Knights team going into the 2023-2024 season. At the time of recording this, already 2-0 after this first weekend, and they don't even have Easton Cowan back, who's still up with the Toronto Maple Leafs right now. But again, other than him, 8 other NHL drafted players on this London Knights team, and also, guys like Sam Dickinson, who are going to be drafted as early as next season, and an elite goaltender in the league like Michael Simpson. So I would not be shocked at all to see London go back to the OHL Championship. 1 year of more of experience for this group. To me, even a better roster than maybe they had assembled last year that lost to Peterborough in 6 games. Thank you to everybody for tuning in to another episode of OHL Overtime right here on the Armchair GM Sports Network. As always, it's brought to you by Wild Bill's Auto Repair, helping customers stay safe and confident on the road in Niagara since 2012, and honor the late William Robert Hunter, the proud show sponsor of OHL Overtime. Wild Bill's Auto Repair right here in the Niagara region. Thank you very much, and until next time, my name is Brandon Caputo, signing off for another installment of OHL Overtime. Make sure you're following the podcast on X and following us on all of our social media platforms. Thank you to those tuning in today in video on YouTube and those listening today on all of our audio platforms. And we'll talk to you guys again very soon. You're listening to the Armchair GM Sports Network.